What's up, guys? This is Storm, and welcome to episode 11 of the Gaming News Roundup. Sorry I didn't put out a video for last week. There wasn't a whole lot of news that came out that was worth reporting to do a whole video on, so I decided to combine the ones from last week and this week into one video. So, with that being said, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please leave a like and share, and leave your comments down below. And let's get on with the news. Sony has announced they formed a brand new studio called Dark Outlaw Games with the Call of Duty Zombie lead Jason Bundell. If you remember him, he was the founder for was it Deviant? It was some of the Deviant games that PlayStation also had, but that studio got closed down. He gave reason why that studio closed down because it was hard for them to work in that studio during the whole COVID situation. So that's why the studio died. But now he made a brand new studio that supposedly people said that it was like rumored for a while now, but now they're finally coming out and saying it. So, what people believe that they're going to be working on, they have a project called Project Delta. So, some people believe it's some type of, like a military, probably tactical shooter, given his background, how Call of Duty Zombie is. So, some people believe he's probably working on a SOCOM game. And other believe he's making a siphon filter. You don't know what siphon filter is. It was like some type of spec op game that was originally made by Ben Studios. But I am kind of curious what kind of project they're working on. I haven't played either SOCOM or siphon filter, so either one would be a new experience for me. But a lot of people is hoping for a SOCOM because I don't believe there is any like tactical shooters in the market, so this will be a good chance for them to come back and get some of that old fan base who enjoy SOCOM back. But I guess we just have to wait and see. I don't expect to see anything from their project until at least next year we hear what they're working on or what kind of game it is. But the only reports that we have, it is a PlayStation IP that they're doing. It's not they're making their own game. They're making a game for an old PlayStation IP. That's all we know so far. So until we hear more, that's all we have for now. Last week, Digimon Con 2025 came around, and they revealed a lot of stuff involving Digimon, a new TCG app card game, a new anime, the first season of Digimon Adventure special that shows them depicted as grown adults that's supposed to show like the final moments of the ending of Digimon Adventures Season 2. They gave us more information for the next Digimon story, Time Stranger. I go into more detail about this in a whole separate video. I will post a link in the description below in case you want to see, in case you want to hear all the new information that they put out for Digimon story. I personally cannot wait for that game to get official release date. I'm kind of banking sometime in September. If I had to guess the possible release date, I say September. Essentially, Creed Shadows have released and got some pretty good reviews. It stands at a 82 Metacritic right now with the updated numbers. And so far, I put in almost, I want to say, 30 hours into the game. I've been live streaming it, and honestly, I'm at the point that I'm just getting a little burnt out on the whole open world crap, because it just, Ubisoft just put a bunch of crap to do in these Assassin's Creed games, and I'm a little bit surprised how much hours I put into it. Especially, I dislike the whole RPG aspect for Assassin's Creed, honestly. So the fact I'm still in the fight, like putting this much hours into it, it kind of shows that I'm low key kind of interested in it, and I'm interested where does the story go. But where it stands right now, when it comes to story, I still say Ghost of Tsushima is definitely better. The only the only thing I could kind of say that put shadows over Ghost of Tsushima, in my opinion, is definitely the environment, how it looks when the weather changes and stuff, and possibly how like the dismemberment when it comes to sword combat. But other than that, Ghost of Tsushima is still overall better because it's the fact that looking at the parkour when it comes to Naue, who's the shinobi out of the two between her and Yasuke, and the whole parkour aspect, it feels so downgraded compared to Assassin's Creed Unity. And I saw a comparison video of it, and I'm just like, bruh, in Unity, Arno was moving like he was a whole shinobi, like because the whole parkour chain when he's running on rooftops, it doesn't break. So, but when it comes to Naue, I feel so, I feel so like downgraded, and it's like the chain doesn't really like link together. I can't really find the proper way to explain it, but you just look at a video of Assassin's Creed Unity parkour and look at Assassin's Creed Shadow, you could definitely tell like the movement for Naue is definitely downgrade compared to Arno, because like there'll be like gap between trees, and Arno could run between them and stuff. But when it comes to Naue, she doesn't. She just run up the tree and just jump off it. Like you can't, like she can't run through the gap of trees like that. And the whole environment itself in Assassin's Creed Shadow, it is beautiful, but it feels like you're strongly recommend to stay on the road when you're using a horse, because if you try to go cut between lands and stuff, you're just gonna get blinded about a whole bunch of trees and crap. It's hard to see and hard to get around at times. Uh, Assassin's Creed Shadow did prove something with the whole criticism it got. It shows that people did show up to get it. They put out a number that said they had 3 million players and stuff. So I guess, but it doesn't really say how much for sale wise. So we don't know the sales for Assassin's Creed Shadows. It just the only thing we heard overall, it did better than Valhalla. But this also ties into another situation that Ubisoft got to settle into. They made a sub like a sub area for their IPs like Assassin's Creed, Rainbow Six, and a couple other IP games, and they kind of went to like some type of agreement with Tencent that Tencent will fund the subdivision for their IPs. So a lot of people did assume this was gonna be the route they're going to, because Ubisoft is just losing a whole bunch of money, and a lot of people believe that Assassin's Creed Shadows was gonna be their last chance to make make something good and stuff. And Assassin's Creed Shadow is good, but I don't think it did what they. Since we don't know the numbers, how much it sold, it kind of feels like it didn't do what Ubisoft hoping that it did. So that's why Tencent is coming in to help fund their IPs, so they won't have to end up like for example, selling it to somebody. A lot of people was at the point that Tencent was gonna buy Ubisoft, which could potentially still happen. A lot of people was saying that Microsoft should buy them, but I think Microsoft needs to worry about their own studio that they have right now, because they got so many, and let's be honest, they don't want to get into another whole situation with the CMA about monopoly and all that jazz of buying up studios, because look how long it took for the deal for Activision Blizzard to go through. They don't want to go through that again, and they already spent like almost, I think in total they spent almost $80 billion for Blizzard, Activision, and what was the other thing they bought? Bethesda. There we go. I don't know why their name escaped me, but yeah, those two alone, they spent almost $80 billion, and it probably wouldn't cost that much to buy Ubisoft. I don't think they don't want to put that money out there just so they wouldn't have to deal with the problem with the CMA, in my opinion. But let's hope Ubisoft is good come through this, because the next game that they have coming out is another Assassin's Creed game. I think it's like Assassin's Creed Hex or something like that. So we just gotta wait and see how that look. But overall, I am gonna try to finish Assassin's Creed Shadows, even though I'm getting a little burnt out. So I'm probably gonna need to take a break from it so I could like get that energy to go back into that world. Like almost 30 hours in, and I'm now able to play on Yasuke. And it's mostly because of me, because I'm just going around trying to clear up the map, because at some point I am going to have to do it later, so I'm just trying to get it out the way. But yeah, I think a break is all that I need from Assassin's Creed Shadows. I might give a overall review after when I finish the game. We'll see how that turns out. Split Fiction creator Hazelight Studios is already working on their next game. He commented to say, "I'm so fully focused and excited on the next thing that we already have started. Just want to say that, so I feel super excited." The fact that this guy is already got started on the next game is pretty crazy. If he's already getting started, this most likely gonna come out next year. People already say Split Fiction is gonna be one of the contenders for Game of the Year, which I believe, because it is a really fun game, especially when you're playing with somebody. And he did win the 2021 Game of the Year for his It Takes Two. It was either 2021 or 2022 he won Game of the Year. So if GTA 6 does not come out this year, I could definitely see his game could potentially be the winner for Game of the Year. But we just gotta wait and see because we're only in the third month, about to go into April, and this year is pretty stacked with games. Where you got Months Hunter Rise, South of Midnight, uh, the next Doom game, Lost Soul Aside, Death Stranding 2, um, Mafia, Borderlands, a whole bunch of games that are coming out this year. 2025 is pretty stacked. Like, for me, since I'm stuck playing Assassin's Creed Shadows, I'm 2 games behind of even getting started to play. And there's other games I've started, but I stopped to focus on Assassin's Creed Shadows, so I'm pretty much already screwed. Like, me personally, when it comes to me trying to get these games done. But at least I have a whole bunch of games to play through the summer, which some people say the summertime is like a gaming news drought. So when that comes around, I'll definitely have more time to finish the games. Like, I am looking forward to Expedition 33 that comes out around the end of April, and Lost Soul Aside come out on March 30th, and Ghost of Yotai is still set to release this year. So I'm like, oh my god, I'm not good. I'm gonna be going through it. So I'm definitely gonna need to move some games around, and we'll see how it turns out. But overall, I'm excited for the games that are coming out this year. So we'll see what his next game could potentially be. More than likely, it's still gonna have the whole friend code thing, 2 player stuff, unless he's do something different. Until we see more, I believe that the game is gonna have those things. Gonna have the friend code also, but we'll see. This information comes from Andy Cortez from Kinda Funny Games, who got to play Phantom Play Zero, and he says, not a Souls-like difficulty designed to be challenging, yet fun for all. It will feature 3 game modes: story mode, normal mode, and extreme mode. The game will have 8 different endings, influenced by side quests and main quest choices. Extreme mode removes pre-made combos with enemies reacting more to player moves. No release date confirmed, but expected in 2025. Alright, so some of the stuff we kind of did know when it comes to the whole it's not a Souls game. I don't know why people keep thinking that Phantom Blade Zero is a Souls game, even though multiple reports said that it wasn't. Even the dev said it will have a difficulty option. I guess whenever you see a game that has like a dark, gritty atmosphere, it's automatically a Souls game. I don't know. But anyway, the extreme mode definitely sounded interesting. The fact that the enemy AI will react more quickly to the moves you try to pull off, so you won't be able to do combos to them, which is pretty cool to look at, especially if you watch those kind of movies when it be like an even fight when it comes to the martial arts, and you just blocking, both sides are just blocking blows from each other, which is really cool. 8 different endings influenced by side quests and main quest choices. Don't know how I really feel about that. Like, I don't mind you have there's like choice dialogues and stuff like that, but the fact there's 8 different endings, I guess the whole point of it just to give the game more of a replay value and stuff. But good god, I imagine going through that game, going through the game 8 times. You know, it will be extremely fun, and it does create the curiosity. How would this go if I would pick this instead of picking that? So I could definitely see people going through the game like 8 times to get all endings. Me personally, I'm on the fence if I would do that. I kind of hope it's like a. I hope the different choices are impactful if they want you to discover all the different choices and stuff. But we just gotta wait and see. I could definitely see this game being a 2026 game at least. Like a lot of people was hoping for it to come out in 2025, but it kind of feels less likely that it's going to happen. But excuse me, I'd be happily surprised if it turns out that this game is coming out this year. But who knows? It looks like Silent Hill F would not be allowed to be sold in Australia. This is according from Genki JPN. Silent Hill F have been refused classification and will not be allowed to go on sale in Australia via Silent Hill Sin. Materials classified as RC contains content that is outside generally accepted community standards and exceeds what can be included in a rated 18 plus and a X 18 plus ratings. So that's kind of crazy. That means Silent Hill F that have so many crazy stuff, it exceeds a 18 plus rating and a 18 plus rating, which I'm kind of wondering what could it be. If you recall, if you saw the official trailer, one part in the trailer at the end, it shows the girl that you're gonna be playing as, like her face literally got sliced off. Like it showed her looking at the camera and you see like her face is falling off and you see like the muscle and stuff under it. It looks hella creepy and hella crazy. So I'm wondering if it's something along those lines. That's the reason why it is not being allowed to sold in Australia, or there could be something even worse than that. And that is crazy if that's the case. But we'll see what happens. We'll see if Konami is willing to dial it back so it could be sold in Australia, or they just gonna take it as a loss and say like, alright, we'll sell it in other territories, just not in Australia. But we'll see what happens. The Xbox game that's coming to PlayStation, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, got an official release date trailer. It comes out April 17, 2025. It will have a collector's edition, which by the looks of it will have a physical copy of the game, which is kind of surprising, to be honest. The trailer shows that Troy Baker, who's the voice of Indy, got invited to meet with the voice actor of Nathan Drake, and Nathan Drake invited him to an exclusive club, which he opened the box, reveals a blue light, which symbolizes Indiana Jones coming to the PlayStation. This is one of the games that's coming from Xbox to PlayStation, along with Forza 5 and a couple of games. Right now, it is one of the highest pre-order games on the PlayStation Store, and me personally, I don't think I'm gonna play it because I was never into Indiana Jones in general. I never grew up watching the movies, so. And the game is a first-person action adventure game, which I'm not really a fan of first-person. If it was third-party, then maybe I probably would have checked it out, but it's not my type of game. But kudos to the people that have been waiting to try this game on their preferred platform. Yeah, they could have tried it out on PC, Xbox, or gotten it, or try it out on Game Pass. But we'll see. We'll see what happens when it releases and stuff. I guess like the reason why people wasn't really feeling Indiana Jones because I guess they wanted to be the answer to PlayStation's Uncharted. But I could already tell the people who's behind the development of this game wasn't really about it. If they really want to compete with any Uncharted, even though Uncharted was inspired by Indiana Jones, they probably would have made it like a third person type of game, honestly. But I believe they wanted to do their own story and own type of gameplay. And for what I saw people talk about, they are truly enjoying it. Some of them even say it is their game of the year when it released last year on the Xbox and PC. But we'll see how it performs when it comes to PlayStation. One of the best gaming magazines is coming back. Gameinformer had put out a trailer saying that they are coming back and they're going independent. And the best thing about it, they got all the original people that worked at Gameinformer when they was part of GameStop before they got shut down. And they have a whole bunch of backed up news that happened during when they were gone, which happened sometime last year summer, if I'm corrected. So I am truly happy. They're gonna be coming back. They got picked up by a group called Gunzilla. I believe that's their name and stuff. But they did say they are just gonna be help funding Gameinformer. They're gonna be hands off of everything. Basically, they're gonna let Gameinformer do what they do best without any interference, which is even more better. And I am truly excited because I truly miss the magazines that I get when I'm GameStop Pro member and come getting a Gameinformer magazine in the mail and stuff just to see what people say about certain games and stuff. It was always fun getting those. They did say for people who want like a physical magazine or the digital, they're going to give out more info how you be able to receive those at a later date. But I'm truly excited for Gameinformer, and once they put out the news how you will be able to get the physical magazines, I'm definitely going to sign up for them. I believe if you actually go to the Gameinformer website, they already have like some stuff available for you to look at. They talked about what was their game of the year last year. They talk about certain games like Astrobot and stuff like that. So even though they may have been out of commission for those couple of months, they have been always keeping track of any gaming news that has been happening since they've been gone. So I am truly excited for that. PlayStation Plus has announced their games for April. You'll be getting RoboCop Rogue City, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and Digimon Story Hacker Memory. I'm somewhat a little bit annoyed when it came to RoboCop, even though it was on sale for like $8. If I would just wait, I could have gotten it just through PlayStation Plus. But either way, I didn't pay the full price of it since it was on sale for $8, so I'm not really that mad. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, never played it before, but it could be fun. I'm willing to give it a try. And Digimon Story Hacker Memory, a game that came out in 2018. I am truly happy that for people who did not try out, who never even played a Digimon game for that matter, were able to be given this game a try. As you can look at the screen at this point, I am playing it with my level 99 Digimon crew. Have over 140 hours in the game. And I believe the reason why they put this game for their plus for April, just because of, I believe PlayStation do have the marketing for the Digimon Story Time Stranger. So this is basically for people, hey, before the next Digimon game comes out, try out Hacker's Memory so you could like get a feel of how the game is gonna play. Especially if you're a fan of Pokemon, you play Pokemon games, it's literally somewhat the same thing, but you're using Digimons and stuff. But the thing is, you could do a lot more with the Digimons themselves. You could train them, nurse them, like hatch new Digimon from the eggs and stuff. It's really fun. I'm hoping people really give this game a try before Digimon Story Time Stringer, because I really want that game to do very well when it drops. If I had to guess when that game is coming out, I'm willing to say September. I say the game is set to come out this year, so I'm say it would come out in sometime in September. I think that'd be a safe bet for them. We got some stuff about Intergalactic with Neil Druckmann at an interview with IGN. He said, "I would say we're playing it at the office and it's incredible. ... I'm so excited to finally put gameplay out into the world and show people about it, because we just showed you the very, very, very tip on the iceberg. The game goes pretty deep beyond that." This information come out, I want to say like a day or two later, after Jason Schreier, who is a journalist, have reported that Intergalactic and Witcher 4 probably won't be released until 2027. So a lot of people were upset because, well, for Intergalactic, they were at least hoping that the game would release in 2026 after Naughty Dog have been quiet on game releases since The Last of Us Part 2 that launched in 2020 in June or July. So, but with Neil Druckmann coming out with this interview, like literally a day or two later after Jason Schreier put that information out, it kind of gave people the hope that this game could make a 2026 release, especially if Naughty Dog is playing the game. It basically has some type of it's in a playable state that the people at Naughty Dog is playing the game. So, with that being said, I'm still gonna say there's a good chance the game is gonna come out in 2026. I'll probably say mid to late 2026 at most. I could see Intergalactic releasing. But of course, we gotta wait and see. The fact he said he excited to show gameplay is a possibility. We might see like actual gameplay of it at some point this year, hopefully, just to give people the idea of what they could expect with this game when it comes to Naughty Dog. Cause what we had we had The Last of Us Part 2 remaster, Last of Us 1 remaster, the whole Uncharted series. So I think is a pretty good time if they're confident enough to show off some gameplay of it, because it sounds like they've been working on this since Last of Us Part 2 came out. So they had a 4-year dev cycle, which I believe was confirmed when it was revealed at the Game Awards last year that Jeff Keighley said the game has been in the works since 2020, and there was a whole rumor on that already. So I'll keep your finger crossed for some gameplay. I believe there's a strong chance of it for this year. Well, like I said, we just gotta wait and see until we hear otherwise. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodline 2 launches in October 2025. The game is now done and the team is focused on bug fixing, stability, and performance. This game was announced like how long ago? I want to say like, was it 2020 when the next gen consoles first got revealed? And I think at some point the game was gonna come out, but then got delayed and never got a official release date when it's coming out. But now it looks like it's coming out in October. I believe the reason was for the delay because people was criticizing how the game looked. It looked hella bad I want to say it was like pre-alpha bad when it came to the whole trailer. So if you're a fan of the Vampire the Masquerade series, your game is coming out in October, which is kind of a little bit worrying because supposedly GTA 6 is coming out sometime in the fall, and if GTA 6 falls into the October month, and if it's close to this Vampire Masquerade game, it could definitely be a bad scenario for the game because any game that is releasing close to GTA 6 is most likely going to be left forgotten, which is unfortunate because reports have came out there are a couple of publishers are worried about the release of GTA 6 because it could mean their game is going to flop because nobody not gonna really care about their game once your GTA 6 come out. So of course we gotta wait and see how that looks, but here's hoping that no game release close to GTA 6 because other games need to do well too, because when the game fails the gamers lost because it just gonna show another game flopped in this gaming industry that's always changing, and right now the gaming industry is not in a good spot when it comes to layoffs and a whole bunch of other stuff. So I guess we'll see how well the game performs when it releases sometime in October. To wrap up this video, we got some stuff that came out for Nintendo. Nintendo had their direct with show off a couple of games that they have coming, gameplay of the next Metroid game, and surprisingly some games, some game IPs from PlayStation from their old Japan studio that Sony have licensed to Bandai Namco to be published. So when that happened, a lot of people believe that PlayStation is going third party because they're putting games on the Nintendo Switch, but funny enough, it's not on the Xbox console itself, which is kind of interesting because if that was the case, they would put it everywhere, but they're refusing to put on the Xbox platform. This is no different when it came to Lego Horizon, and now we got some Japan studio. I forgot what their name is. I know one of them is like a arcade golf one, and some I forgot what the name is. My apologies. And so I didn't get a chance to watch the Nintendo Direct, but for what I seen, people did like what they show, and it's not surprising that they didn't show off anything involving the Switch 2 because Nintendo already said that they're not going to show anything for the Switch 2. But in April, they are going to have like a dedicated direct that talks about the Switch 2. And potentially games that are going to be coming for the game at day one. But this report says that the game is supposedly going to launch in June. Also, Nintendo plans a 3-phase release for games. First, primary and first party at launch. Second, October, November, third party games. And third, holiday season. Console and game hands on the select media next week. We don't know how true this statement is that Nintendo is going to be doing this, but I guess we'll just have to find out and see what they're going to show off at their next direct that's going to be focusing on the Nintendo Switch 2. Because there are a lot of rumors about how strong supposedly the Switch 2 is going to be, the price of it, which some people believe is like ranging from $300 to $400. I think some people say it could be $500, but I don't think Nintendo will actually launch this thing at $500. Me personally, I think between $300 to $400 is a safer bet, and we'll see what Nintendo got cooking up for us, because A lot of people believe the Switch 2 is going to be on the scale of power of the PS4 and the Xbox One, which would be interesting because there are some Nintendo games that could use the extra power. But I guess we'll see if those games could do 60 FPS, because if they could just do 60 FPS, I think a lot of people will go out, even more people will go out and buy it at least. And if it has a strong third party support, because Nintendo already got the fan base when it comes to their exclusive, but now they could get people for a third party who buys third party game. Especially Nintendo has the gimmick you can play the game on the go natively, which not including the PlayStation Portal or stuff like that. So we're getting close to the Nintendo Direct, but what do you guys think? What game are you looking forward to see from the Switch 2 Direct? Is any game that you're hoping that will be revealed is on your bingo card? And how you feel about Intergalactic is in a somewhat playable state at Naughty Dog, or how you feel about the next Digimon game? Are you a fan of Digimon, or are you a fan of the gameplay turn-based style of Pokemon that's gonna be pretty much used in the next Digimon game? And let me know in the comments below, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. I hope you enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.